Hello again, it's your internet dad, sharing life lessons I offered my own sons in the hope that they'll help you as you grow and mature. Don't forget, if you like the series, become a subscriber and you'll be alerted the next time a new video is posted. We usually come in twice a week. Today's talk is on the subject of Dress for Success, part of that series, and this one covers hats. Now, in 1961, President Kennedy was inaugurated as President of the United States, and he wore a formal tailcoat, but when he stood up to address the crowd, he wasn't wearing a hat. This was taken as a signal that hats are now passé, which was an extraordinary concept to think about, because for hundreds of years, no man would have left his house without wearing a hat. But the truth is, Kennedy was innocent of the charge because he arrived there with a silk top hat and left with a silk top hat. But when he stood up to address the crowd, he took it off. The damage was done. Now, in reality, we can't blame JFK too much because hat wearing had been declining for 10 or 20 years, and we don't know why, but I want to give you a guide of the hats that can be worn today if you so choose. Now, when I say hats in some ways went away, in one part of the country they didn't, and that is the South and Southwest. And they wear cowboy hats, and they wear that to business, going to a bar. They even wear them dancing in dance halls. And it's a wonderful spirit of Texas, Oklahoma, or Southern California, or whatever area they come from. Now, all hats with a brim have certain things in common. One is they're never worn on the back of the head. They're worn down on the forehead, and the front snap brim is lowered to protect their eyes. The other thing that they have, which you may notice, is they have a bow on the left-hand side of the hat. And that tells you which is the front and which is the back. Now, that may seem ridiculous to you that you need that, but it was only 50 to 70 years ago that a lot of people wore bowler hats, and you could easily put them back to front. So you had to look where that ribbon was. Today, probably only undertakers wear these hats. The rest of us have it slightly easier. We can tell which is front and which is back. Now, the reason why there's a bow on the side of the hat is that in the bad old days, men tied their hat with a long ribbon or silk scarf, and it had to hang down one side or the other. And as they did their sword fighting in their right hand, and most people were right-handed, they made sure that the bow was tied on the left. So with that piece of trivia, we'll move on and explain what other options are available to you. Well, it's really in a formal setting what we call Fedora hats, and they're all the same: snap brim, dimple at the top, not so wide brim, in some cases crushable. Now, this is a gray hat, so that is worn, could be worn with a black overcoat or a navy blue overcoat. But the best and most optional hat is really the brown fedora, and it's similar to the gray one: snap down brim, crushable, pack it, pop it back up, and you can wear it. And the wonderful thing about the brown fedora is that the gray fedora would look a little ridiculous with a sport coat, but you can get away with a brown fedora for wearing a business suit or a sports coat. Now, you'd probably get away very easily with not wearing a hat in the fall or the spring, but in the winter and the summer, you need hats. In the winter, you need to protect against snow and rain, and I like these cap type hats, insulated and warm, and you can fold them up, put them in your coat pocket when you're not wearing it. In the summer, I like a fedora hat which is very similar. It's a fedora style, but it's called a Panama hat, similar to the fedora, snap-down brim, silk band, and here too should be crushable, and you can wear it when it's hot and you need the protection. Now, if you are against hats proverbially, then there is an option, and that is if you're going on vacation or a business trip, for goodness sake, bring one of these things. It's a folding umbrella. It doesn't take up a lot of weight or space in your suitcase, and it'll save you from a drenching. Now, an alternative to your baseball cap is what's called a bush hat, and this is used by the armed forces. This hat was actually issued to me for use in the jungle, and I can stand by the statement that I went through several monsoon seasons, and it certainly protected me from heavy rain. But more importantly, it protects you from it shades you from the sun, and it protects the back of your neck against sunburn. Now, this bush hat has a secret, because if you turn it inside out, you'll find a different colored band. And that was basically what we used whenever the lead scout of a patrol would see evidence of the enemy. He would reverse his hat in that manner. The men behind him would see that he'd done it. They would reverse their hats, and very quickly everyone in the patrol knew that the enemy were close. But more importantly, you now could identify friend from foe, and you're going to know who the enemy is. So give that some thought. Now, getting back to the baseball cap, for goodness sake, don't wear it back to front or sideways. It's designed to be worn with the peak protecting your eyesight and your face from sunburn. And however, it doesn't protect your neck. As you grow older, you will be vulnerable possibly to skin cancer if you're in a very sunny part of the world. So keep that hat on. So to summarize, I hope you've got enough information on what you might want to do with hats, but do remember a tip of the hat to JFK. He was innocent of the charge. And I hope you find the hat of your choice. Till next time.